There's a moment in life when you suddenly realize that your body doesn't answer in the same way it used to. Perhaps you bend to pick something up and feel stiffness where there once was ease. Or you wake up in the morning and wonder why your legs feel heavy before the day has even begun. These changes can feel discouraging, almost like your body is quietly closing certain doors you once walked through without a thought. But here's the gentle truth. Aging isn't about doors closing. It's about finding new ones, doors you may not have noticed before. And one of those doors is dancing. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? A little movement, a little music. Yet beneath that simplicity lies something deeply powerful, the chance to keep your body alive in rhythm, to keep your spirit awake to joy. You might think, but I'm not a dancer, I never was. That's perfectly fine, because dancing at this stage of life isn't about skill, style, or looking graceful. It's about honoring the rhythm still living inside you. The rhythm hasn't left. It has only grown quieter, waiting for you to notice it again. When you think about it, our lives have always been marked by rhythm. The beating of your heart, the rise and fall of your breath, the way seasons pass and return, all of it is a kind of dance. And just as the body changes with age, so does the rhythm of life itself. It slows down, it softens, but it never disappears. That's why finding a way to move, even gently, becomes less about exercise and more about alignment with life itself. Maybe you're wondering, is it really possible for something as simple as dancing to make a difference when the body feels tired? The answer is yes, but not in the way you might expect. Dancing doesn't promise to erase every ache or roll back the years. What it does is remind you that you are still here, still capable of joy, still worthy of movement. It helps you shift focus from what has been lost to what is still beautifully possible. I've met people who thought they were too old, too stiff, too clumsy to try. And yet, when the music began, something shifted. Their eyes lit up, their bodies followed, even if the steps were tiny. Sometimes it was just a sway, a tap of the foot, a small lift of the hands. But in that moment, they weren't old or fragile. They were simply alive, present, connected. So perhaps ask yourself gently, when was the last time you allowed yourself to move in a way that wasn't about duty or necessity, but about pleasure? Not walking to the store, not climbing stairs, but just moving for the sake of feeling life move through you. If that feels distant, maybe it's time to invite it back, not as a demand, but as a gift. And here's something I'd love to know from you. Where do you live, and is dancing a part of your local culture or community? Sometimes the traditions around us carry clues to what our bodies are secretly longing for. Maybe in your town there are folk dances, community events, or even just neighbors who enjoy music in the park. Or maybe the rhythm is hidden in your own living room, waiting for you to turn on a favorite song. Whatever the case, your place, your story, your rhythm matters, and it might be the very starting point of your dance. I want to tell you about Mariah. She is 72, and for many years she lived with her husband in a quiet little apartment where laughter and conversation filled the evenings. When he passed away, the silence of her home became unbearable. She told me once that the hardest part wasn't just the loneliness, but the sense that life had somehow lost its color. Days blurred into one another, and she began to feel invisible to the world. What changed for her was not a miracle pill or a sudden burst of energy. It was an invitation from a neighbor to join a small community dance evening. At first she resisted. "I can't dance, I'll look foolish," she said. But she went anyway, just to watch. The music began, soft at first, then stronger, and someone gently reached for her hand. Mariah laughed nervously, then let herself sway, barely moving at all. Yet in that moment something lit up inside her. She felt connected, seen, part of a rhythm larger than her grief. Week by week she returned, and little by little her life regained color. Her body grew steadier, her mood lifted, and she began to look forward to the future again. You see, that's the quiet gift of dancing. It doesn't ask you to be perfect. It doesn't demand that you keep up with others. It simply invites you back into the stream of life, where connection and joy are still possible. And when you share that rhythm with others, even if it's just one person, the heart begins to heal in ways that words alone cannot. You might wonder how to take those first steps yourself. The truth is, you don't need a dance floor or a partner to begin. Start small. Put on a song you once loved, something that carries memories of younger days. Allow yourself 10 minutes, no more. Let your body respond however it wishes, even if that means simply tapping your fingers on the table or swaying in your chair. That's dancing too. If you feel comfortable, try moving your arms, lifting your shoulders, or letting your feet follow the rhythm. With time, those small motions awaken parts of you that have been waiting quietly for attention. And if you are open to it, consider joining a group, even a very small one. It could be a community class, a local social evening, or a simple gathering of friends. The presence of others is powerful medicine. It reminds you that you are not walking this journey alone. I know stepping into something new can feel intimidating, especially if you haven't danced for years or if your body doesn't move like it once did. But think of Mariah. She didn't arrive with confidence, she arrived with hesitation, and still she found her way. Perhaps you will too, in your own time and your own rhythm. If these gentle reflections feel meaningful to you, and if you'd like to continue receiving more stories and guidance about how simple practices like this can renew your life, I warmly invite you to subscribe. That way, we can keep walking together, step by step, dance by dance. When we think about dancing, we often imagine the visible movements, the steps, the turns, the sway of the body. But what is less visible is what happens deep inside, in the places we cannot see but surely feel. Scientists have long observed that the brain responds to rhythm in extraordinary ways. When you move to music, even gently, your hippocampus, the part of the brain linked to memory, lights up with activity. It's almost as if each beat of the music sweeps dust from forgotten corners, keeping the pathways of memory alive and awake. This is why researchers have found that seniors who dance regularly show a lower risk of dementia and cognitive decline. It isn't magic, it's the body's natural way of preserving itself through movement and rhythm. The brain loves patterns, and music is nothing but patterns dressed in sound. When you move in time with it, you are giving your brain the stimulation it craves. And it isn't only the mind that benefits. Balance, which so many of us worry about as we age, is deeply influenced by the way we move. One of the greatest dangers in later life is falling, and yet dancing, by asking the body to adjust, shift, and adapt, becomes quiet training for stability. Each small step, each gentle turn is like teaching your body once more how to stay upright in an unpredictable world. Think about that for a moment. Every time you sway to music, you may be preventing a fall, months or even years from now. Isn't that remarkable? And then there is the heart itself. Dancing is not just exercise, it is cardiovascular nourishment. As your heart rate rises, blood flows more freely, carrying oxygen to every corner of your body. But unlike traditional workouts, dancing adds joy to the equation, which means you are more likely to continue it, more likely to let it become part of your life rather than a duty. It is this marriage of science and spirit, motion and meaning, that makes dancing such a unique protector of life. So maybe ask yourself gently, when was the last time your body felt alive, not just because it was moving, but because it was moving to something that made you smile? Can you remember the feeling of a song awakening you, even for a brief moment? If that memory feels distant, know that it can return. You don't need to force it, and you don't need to be perfect. Your brain, your heart, your balance, they all respond even to the smallest efforts. Sometimes just tapping your feet to the rhythm of a favorite tune is enough to spark these internal changes. The science is clear, but more importantly, your own experience will confirm it if you give yourself permission to try.
And perhaps the question is not whether dancing can help you live longer, but whether it can help you live better, more present, more joyful, more connected to yourself. That is the real gift the body offers when we move with music. Sometimes beginning something new feels like standing at the edge of a wide river. You want to cross, but you're not sure how deep it is or how strong the current might be. Starting to dance in later years can feel just like that. You may wonder if your body is ready, if you'll look awkward, or if it will simply be too much. That's why the key is not to leap, but to step in gently, one movement at a time. The first step is music. Choose a song that speaks to you, not something chosen by others or dictated by trends, but a melody that stirs a memory or brings a smile. It could be a tune from your youth, something that once played at family gatherings, or even a piece that feels soothing today. When the right music plays, your body will naturally respond. The second step is permission. Give yourself permission to start small. You don't need to stand if standing feels unsafe. Begin in a chair. Yes, chair dancing is real and powerful. Lift your arms slowly, let your shoulders sway, tap your toes against the floor. Feel how even the smallest movement can bring warmth to your muscles and a little lightness to your mood. The third step is awareness. Pay attention to your body, not with judgment, but with kindness. Notice how your breathing changes, how your heart begins to join the rhythm. If you feel tired, pause. If you feel joy, continue. This practice is not about performance. It is about listening to the whispers of your own body. The fourth step is growth. As days pass, extend the time. 5 minutes can become 10. 10 can become 15. Perhaps you'll find yourself standing, shifting weight from one foot to another, or gently turning in place. Each small addition is a victory, a sign that your body remembers more than you thought. The fifth step is celebration. Every movement matters. Too often we measure progress in numbers, but here progress is measured in moments. The moment you laugh while moving your arms, the moment your feet follow the rhythm without you forcing them. Celebrate those moments because they are proof of life flowing through you. Along the way, you might notice a voice inside whispering, "But I don't look graceful," or "This isn't real dancing." Gently remind yourself, there is no single way to dance. If your body moves to music, you are dancing. If your spirit feels lighter after moving, you are dancing. Isn't that enough? And perhaps the most important step is patience. Your body has carried you through many decades. It deserves kindness, not pressure. So move at your own pace and let the journey unfold as it wishes. You may be surprised to discover that the rhythm grows stronger each time you honor it.
Ask yourself quietly, could I give myself just a few minutes today, without expectation, without judgment, simply to let music move me? If the answer feels like even a soft yes, then you are already on the path. Remember, this is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about reclaiming a part of yourself that has been waiting patiently, ready to remind you that you are still capable of joy, still capable of rhythm, still capable of dance. There is something almost sacred about the way dancing reaches beyond the body and into the heart. When you move with music, you are not only exercising muscles, you are awakening something much deeper, something that reminds you that life is still flowing through you no matter your age. It is easy, as the years pass, to believe that vitality belongs to the young. But the truth is, vitality has no age. It lives wherever the spirit is willing to move. Dancing becomes a gentle declaration. I am still here. I am still capable of joy. I am still part of the rhythm of life. I once met a man named George, 81 years old, who told me that after retiring, he felt like his days became colorless, each one blending into the next. Then his granddaughter invited him to a small dance evening at her school. At first, he stood by the wall, watching the children move with such energy. But then, almost shyly, he let her pull him onto the floor. He said later that he barely moved, just swayed side to side, but in that moment he felt 20 years younger. What struck him most was not the movement itself, but the laughter he shared with her, the sense of being connected to life again. This is the hidden medicine of dance. It brings laughter, touch, memory, and presence in ways no pill or routine can replace.
And perhaps that is the true reason why it saves lives. Because when the spirit feels alive, the body follows. As you think about your own days, maybe ask yourself softly, when was the last time you let yourself be carried by music, without worrying about how it looked, without judging if it was enough? Sometimes we forget that joy is not earned, it is allowed. What if you gave yourself permission, even for a few minutes, to let joy return through movement? You don't need to think of dance as exercise. Think of it instead as giving your soul a little more room to breathe. Even the smallest steps can be enough to remind you that you are not only surviving these years, but living them. And in that living, you rediscover meaning, lightness, and connection. So perhaps today or tomorrow, you might put on a song that once made your heart sing, and let your body respond in whatever way feels natural. That could be your beginning, your renewal, your quiet celebration of still being here. I would love to hear from you. What song would you love to dance to today? Share it with me in the comments. I believe others will be inspired by your choices too. And if you would like more gentle wisdom and encouragement to keep discovering these small but life-saving joys, I warmly invite you to subscribe so we can continue this journey together, step by step, dance by dance.